On Wax the podcast right here in San Antonio, Texas. Number one podcast.
Feel like you drunk, I ain't scared it out. Put it on Chuck. You a bitch ass punk. In the NFL, we scares on the type looking like it's a bitch.
Hey, yo, what it do, baby? My next guest, straight out of Whataburger Town, Salinaville, the funniest man out of Corpus Christi, from the 361 to the 210. My next guest, Javi Luna.
Oh, yes. How's it going? The fall off's real. He's officially running out of guests.
I'm done.
Who? I was listening to a couple episodes of the way here. I go. I wonder what kind of fucking bullshit AI is gonna spit in him for my intro. Thank you for keeping it.
No, you know what?
Thank you for not pulling no BS on my name.
No, you know what? I was let me address this really quick.
Yeah.
With the Chat GPT. It's all of my thoughts. I put everything out there, like with the Chingona episode. There's no way that they know that she's Chingona. I do it all. I just read the script, you know?
No, I'm the same way. I use it as a writer. Like, hey, this is what I want to say. Put it in a way that does make me sound not so stupid, man.
But Beans was all like, "You just get that from Chat GPT." I'm like, "It's all my thoughts."
The computer is dumb. You have to tell it. If you just tell Chat GPT, "Hey, write me something funny," right. It's gonna come up with the corniest shit you could ever. That's a scam, likely. Don't.
Yeah, but it will build on a joke. Like it's starting to get kind of good at that.
If you give it, you got to give it the right parameters, and oftentimes, like when I'm using it for structure, I have to tell it like, hey, don't change none of my shit. Yeah. just fix the punctuation, and
1000%.
Put it in paragraphs and make it sound, like I know what the fuck I'm doing.
But Javi Luna, let me start with this, man. You don't give yourself enough credit, okay? Let's start there. Javi Luna is a big fucking deal in the comedy world. And I wanted to put on there, and like I said, I didn't really formulate it based on the Chat GPT thing this time, but it's almost like your favorite comic's favorite comic. I've spoken to several headliners, and they're like, but Javi Luna, bro. But Javi Luna. It's always but Javi Luna. Especially Chingo Bling has nothing but the best things to say about you.
Brother, man.
You co-headline with Chingo Bling.
I feature for him.
Feature, that's the right word.
Yeah,
there you go. But he has nothing but the best things to say. Every comic, like I said, everybody knows you're going to kill. I've seen you now. I've seen you for sure at the Ken Flores Memorial Show that we had in San Antonio.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen you at the Chona Show. And I seen you at the Chingo Bling show. So I think there was a fourth one, but for sure I've seen you 3 times. And every single time you light up the motherfucking room, man.
Thank you. If anything, consistency's been my best friend.
Yeah.
In this 15 years.
15 now.
It'll be 15 years in April.
Okay.
Rounding up there. But
congratulations.
But yeah, and 10 of those years I've been on the road with Chingo.
No way. Okay.
So we've been together working together for a long time.
Let's start there. How did that relationship form? Was it just at a show and y'all just like hit it off pretty well?
No, I guess to say that we hit it off, or I mean, there was definitely not to make it sound like, oh, we didn't get along or anything, but I think he mentioned it I was watching his episode back because I hadn't familiarized myself with your show yet, so I was watching. Started off with his episode,
right? And
he mentioned when he was starting comedy, he really dipped his toes in. He was letting a friend of his kind of produce shows, and then he would jump on and do like little.
Skits.
10 minutes.
Right.
You know, when you're first starting out, I think you mentioned you did did open mics.
Yep.
5-10 minutes, and that's probably feels like a lifetime when you're starting out. And so he was just doing that, trying to figure out like, hey, what does stand up feel like? And this guy was producing shows at that time. I had a group in Corpus called the Vatos Locos of Comedy, and we were selling out shows in Corpus, and we were coming up and doing shows here in San Antonio. So we kind of had a little online presence, and we would do skits as well. And so the guy reached out to one of my homie Jacob Rodriguez and said, "Hey, we'd love to have the Vatos Locos do a show, and Chingo Bling's going to be on it." The guy was basically using Chingo's name to like get these comics to be like, yeah, who wouldn't want
give you guys some exposure?
Yeah, if you're Latino in the comedic realm in Texas, you knew who Chingo Bling was.
Of course.
You know, even though he was a rapper, he always had a comedic element in his parody songs. So we're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, of course. You know, it's a great way to get comics to do. If someone really wants to work with someone, it's a great way to get somebody to do it for little to no money. Right? It's basically what the benefit to the guy. So he put the show together here in San Antonio. I don't even remember where it was. It was no place where I would care to go back to
at this very moment.
Let's put it that way. I'm not like, oh, I got to come back to this bar.
Right.
You know. It was just like a rundown bar. You know, to say that. But he had like 20 comics on the show, like an excessive amount. It was a who's who of comics, but then there was also like 5 guys that no one had ever heard of. And when I say no one had ever heard of, like no one knew in the scene knew them. Like they weren't comics. Like they weren't open micers. And it became very clear what was going on. These were just the funny guys in the crew. And some of them were stealing jokes. One of them outright stole a set from Gilbert Esquivel's Latino Laugh Festival set. And for me, as a comedy purist, that was a turnoff for me. And I was a little bit disappointed that that's who Chingo was rolling with.
Right. So
I took my picture with him at the end. I stole some bags of corn nuts from the
got your lick back
the green room. He says I wasn't getting paid for the show.
Right.
I was like, let me get some hot Cheetos,
ranch flavor or what flavor?
And ranch flavor. Ranch flavor. You know, I
Hell
stuffed them down my shirt. I still show him the picture. I go, hey, you see where my shirt was tucked in there? It's because I had some corn nuts.
Some ranch flavor.
And then it was kind of like, okay, great. I did my show with Chingo Bling. I took my picture. Maybe like half a year later, he comes through. And I had seen now he's rolling with comics that I respected.
Right.
At that time it was Midnight Castillo, Jesus Castillo from Dallas, and I think he was also starting to work with John Stringer and Blame the Comic. These were friends of mine, people who I respected. I was
that
like,
aren't stealing jokes.
Yeah, that aren't stealing jokes,
right.
Writing material. I was like, okay, he's trying to do it right. Came back, saw him. I saw the improvement from what he had done here in San Antonio. This is now in Corpus. I had already had kind of my I guess would you say
reservations?
No, people knew like I had my reputation.
Oh yeah.
Already for being a comic of a certain quality, and so that was probably the first time that we actually really got to talk. When I met him here in San Antonio, there was too many people. It was still that rap world.
Right.
Now he was on my territory.
Right.
In comedy, this was at a comedy club.
Not some bullshit restaurant.
Not some rap stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to know each other a little bit more. Still, at that time, I was on a tour called the Latin Comedy Jam. So I wasn't like looking to latch on to a headliner or anything like that. My boys were working with them. It's kind of that. And then they started going. They were touring for about a year, and I saw what they were doing, and I kind of kept up with them. And then he came through Corpus again. At that time, I was going through a divorce, and I was just getting on stage. I was developing a lot of new material, and he came through, and he had heard, it was kind of in the comedy world. It was kind of well known, like, hey, Javi's going through this divorce. He's doing this heartbroken, still joking stuff. The material's super raw.
Stinks.
Yeah. But people were like, I still get people to come to shows. But I'm married now. I have a new wife. Life's good, all that. But they're like, but man, that divorce material, because
was it good or bad?
No, it was great.
Oh, good.
Like, they loved it. They still ask for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Obviously, I don't do that stuff.
Put it behind me now.
Yeah. It's in the past, So that was kind of I call that meeting was the beginning when he was like, hey man, I heard you're going through some stuff, Chingo's very, very inspirational.
He is,
and he was like, keep going. Everyone respects you. You know, this is the pressure that you need to bring out your full potential and all that. And, you know, I told him, I was like, hey, look, I know you got your crew. Definitely not trying to take anyone out of a job or anything like that. But if you ever need anybody,
I'll let your boy.
Hit me up. And that's probably, when you say I don't give myself enough credit or put myself out there enough, that's probably why nobody knows who the heck I am. That was out of character for me. I don't do that.
Right.
Like
vouch for yourself.
Right. Or even like, hey, I'd really like to do this show with you. Like, I don't do that. Like, most of everything that I've gotten has come to me.
What do you think made you do that with Chingo specifically?
I don't know. It was for no other reason than it was meant to be.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, we're talking about a 10-year relationship.
Right. And going
now and go
right.
and still going
and getting bigger.
Yeah. Right. You know, and now, you know, 10 years later to get to say that, you know, I've been a part of his process of transitioning from rap to comedy, and I was there, you know, in the room, right, helping write some of the skits for the Netflix, you know, and you know, I got to be there. I didn't get to be there during the filming because I was doing a show with Pauly Shore. But you know, to get to be there in that process, to you know, we've written scripts together. We worked together on his whatever material he's trying to turn over for the next year, you know, and it's been great. So I couldn't tell you like, oh, this is what made me put myself out there. There, it was just something in that moment. Maybe it was the way he approached me,
right?
You know, and
during that
and
moment,
shared those
right.
kind words with me that made me trust him. You know, and saying like, hey, and a few months later, you know, he hit me up. Hey, you want to come to El Paso? You know, because he had told me, he goes, I knew you were on that tour. I thought maybe you were kind of like locked in to something. And I go, no, but I don't have any exclusive, you know, understandings with anybody. You know, if the date's available, I'm available. You know, kind of thing. And so from there on, we rocking and rolling. Next thing I know, I'm with him in Washington D.C., which at that point was the furthest away from home
I've ever been
gone
for comedy.
You know, and yeah, and then we're rocking and rolling, and you know, and 10 years later, we're still.
That's beautiful, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Chingo. I told him from the jump, like my brother used to listen to his music. Obviously, had all of his mixtapes, and loved Chingo. And I like I said, I was a little younger, but I definitely knew who Chingo was. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the Houston hip hop scene and all that good stuff. So then as I got older and I started to like get my own interest in comedy, he starts to get in comedy, and like you see that he's like taking jujitsu. I love MMA and you know, UFC and all that stuff. And I've tried to get him on the podcast several times, and he had never read my message. And boy, I'm fucking pissed. I was like, he doesn't even know. Like, he has a best friend right here in San Antonio, and he's not even answering my fucking messages. And one day, like I said, he did. He gets here. We go to a show. I remember I saw you in the green room at the LOL.
Yeah.
And we hit it off there. He comes here. We had a great time here. And I couldn't believe like how friendly he was. Very wise. Like you said, he was very motivational. Had nothing but like words of wisdom. Everything he said like off camera was really like, it had meaning to it. Like, it's not a lot of fluff. Right. Everything that he says, like, it had meaning to it. He was very precise. He was kind of serious. Like, you know, like he had some jokes here and there, obviously. But like my first impression of Chingo was like, yes, he's actually funnier. Like you said, like there's people like T.I. that come from the rap world to jump into comedy that kind of just don't got it. He has it. Like, he's very funny.
Oh, he's extremely
the Theo Juve.
He's commandments.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. Like he got a good thing going for him. And just to see you guys working together, sold out, you know, huge crowds here in San Antonio. I feel like San Antonio, is that like your home away from home? You always seem to be here.
It's San Antonio's a second home to me. So much like Chingo, I went to college here,
right?
As well. So San Antonio has always felt very much like a second home. Also being from Corpus, it's kind of the closest place that we come, right? Like you know, you kind of joke around. It's kind of a common joke in Corpus. You know, Corpus people, this is where we come on vacation.
Right.
You don't got if you're broke, San Antonio, like, hey, we're going on vacation. Where you going? Oh, we're going to San Antonio.
Hell yeah.
We can go to Fiesta, Texas, and
We go on vacation.
We're gonna go to Mercado.
Yeah, we go to Corpus.
We call it Corpus, but it's like what is it?
Rockport.
Port Aransas.
Yeah, kind of the same way.
Rockport.
Y'all go to the beach. We come to the river walking to see Shamu. You know,
Nice.
and
So man,
it's a nice trade.
I was working at this job and they needed me to work in Beeville for a few months, which is semi close to Corpus.
Yeah,
And so when
halfway.
you live in Beeville, you go to Corpus, right?
for everything. Yeah.
And we're working in Beeville, and I was there for like 3 or 4 weeks straight. And yeah, on the weekends we wanted to go to Corpus, and we were having like it was at a bank, and we're having small talk. And they're like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I was like, "Man, we're gonna go out to Corpus, try it out." You know, I was like, "I don't go to Corpus often, so we'll have fun." They said, "You stay away from one street,"
Oh yeah.
and I was like, "Oh yeah, what's that?" You stay away from Leopard Street.
I mean, you know, depends what you're looking to get into.
That's what I'm saying. We had it.
And
at this
who was
point,
telling you to stay away?
This old white man that didn't know what I was into.
I'm going to Leopard.
Right. So we heard Leopard Street and like it's like a kid now. Now that she told us no, now we really want to see what Leopard Street's about. Man, we drove down the whole bitch. Drove down Leopard Street. We're like
a whole lot of nothing,
okay,
honestly.
okay.
Honestly, a whole lot of
dope fiends.
Now, yeah, it's not what it used to be. Like
This was about 10 years ago. 10, 15
okay,
years
about
ago.
10 years ago. But
Yeah.
there's probably still now. You know, they've knocked down a lot of the older motels and stuff that are there.
Yeah.
There's like,
But it was popping over there at one point.
I mean, never pop. It's an industrial area, so like no one lives out there. So
When I say popping, I mean like extracurricular. activity.
yeah. At one point when I was probably even before I was able to, I probably didn't even see it in its heyday. I'll say.
Right.
Like at one point, yeah, that was the strip. If you wanted to
Up to no good.
see some ladies of the nights, that's
Yeah.
where you would go.
Yeah.
You know, but now, you know, no, it's not.
Yeah. No.
It's not what it
I'm
is.
assuming.
I mean,
it's not,
there's a strip club still there. There's you know, a couple. It's for what it is for the refinery workers. The bars that are there are for, you know, they open up at 7 a.m.
No way.
Dudes come out
Oh,
off
shit.
the night shift, and you know, Lou's Saloon they're one of the oldest bars, like the oldest continuous liquor license in Texas. Belongs to Lou's Saloon.
And I had to watch your episode. I was doing, as you were doing homework on me, I was doing homework on you. I saw that you were on their podcast as well.
Yeah.
And you called it Selenaville. You called it Whataburger Town, which I thought was funny. And that's, I mean, literally, like, you guys have some staples in Corpus. Like, Whataburger was out of Corpus.
That's about and then it gets a little light. We run out of steam. We start off strong, Whataburger, Selena, and then we're like, oh yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips. I think he went to high school somewhere here.
I don't even know who the fuck that is. Who's that?
That's
Lou Diamond Phillips?
Richie
Valens, bro.
Oh, shit.
Essay.
I don't even know who the fuck he is. I was like, who the fuck is he talking about?
Lou Diamond.
Yeah, Lou Diamond. I was like, damn, they're getting creative out of Corpus, man.
Who is that?
Lou Diamond. I thought he was a baseball player or some shit. I was like, damn.
We have some.
I didn't know he was a Mexican.
Right.
You know, we have some baseball players out of there.
Right.
It is Corpus is a baseball town. But there's probably more baseball players out of there that I don't know. I'm not trying to take away their shine or whatever.
Right.
But I feel like baseball is one of those sports like I don't know what do baseball teams carry a roster of like 50 fucking people. I feel like their teams are huge.
Yeah, 20 at least.
Like so it's like there's dudes that sell insurance that played in MLB. Like I feel like I know it's still like you have to be like the top.
I said they make probably the most money of all.
%, but I'm like there's a lot of MLB
Right.
guys. I feel
Minor
like
leaguers.
I still feel like baseball is one of those. Like, I feel like more guys get the chance to play
MLB.
major or at least professional, minor league or whatever baseball than do say basketball.
Right, now I hear you.
Or football.
Yeah, definitely more in football. Yeah. I feel like NFL is probably the hardest to get into, I'm sure. Yeah. But with the Whataburger, like, since you're from Corpus, do you have like a lot of pride about Whataburger? Because I've had several people sit in this chair from Fluffy to Concrete to Duno, and they be talking shit about Whataburger. And I'm thinking of the best person that could be the Whataburger representative right now.
Is that what you're looking for?
I'm needing somebody to stick up for some Whataburger.
I'm a realist. You go to my car right now, there's a Whataburger cup in there. You know, I have myself a bob, but like I said, I am a realist. Whataburger's not what it was at one point.
No, it has taken a hit.
It's my Titanic. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
I'm going down with that shit because I have to because I'm 361, man. I'm from Corpus Christi.
I'll let you, boy.
Hometown. You know, that was when I was growing up. Man, we going to Whataburger. Oh man, and then when they came out with the water size as a fat kid, I was like, yeah, we get that shit water size, man. You know, and it was a thing. It's you know, one of my first jokes I ever written. You know, it's like Whataburger is Corpus. It's what you did after every football game. It's what you did after your first communion, after every quinceañera, because it was 24 hours. You know, hey, what are we gonna do? Hey, we're gonna go get Whataburger. You know, it's a staple for sure. It's your childhood, so there's a nostalgia factor to it.
I think it's a leadership problem. I don't think it's a food problem with Whataburger.
Yeah,
because like almost all of them that you go to, it's the quality. Like you could tell, like, dude, they didn't fucking make this right. So if HEB leadership ran Whataburger, they'd make it.
When it was when it was just a Texas run, you know, institution.
It was right there. Yeah,
you know, so kind of a victim of their own success, right? They grew. They sold to some company in Chicago-based company now. But everybody in Corpus, anybody that's honest about it in Corpus will tell you, you know, and this is no disrespect to San Antonio. You know, the wheel started to come off when they moved from Corpus to San Antonio. Like you left the block, man. Like you got too good for like. There's no reason they couldn't have run it from Corpus. There's no reason they couldn't have continued. You know, now that building, I pass by that building, man.
Shake your head.
They crying. I shake my head. There's like a German bakery in there now.
Oh no!
There's an urgent care, and I was like, that used to be Whataburger headquarters, right there, man. You know,
what about Selena, man? Selena's another big one out of Corpus.
Man. You can't get away.
Yeah, I mean,
man, she left her mark, man.
She left her mark.
It's her town. It's her town. No.
I love Selena, man. I watched that most recent documentary. What was it on Netflix? I think. Mm-hmm. I thought it was beautiful. I thought what she stood for was beautiful. I thought what she was building was beautiful. She always gave back. She always, you know, represented her family, her area. Yeah. I love that they, you know, gave her moment too after she passed as well. So I think Corpus, like I said, it's crazy to me because I guess it falls in line. But when you think of Texas, man, you think of Dallas, you think of Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. Yeah. In Corpus, like you said, we all go to Corpus. If you're not from Houston, we probably all go to Corpus, you know? Like, that's our spot. We go to Rockport. Like I said, we go to Port Aransas and all that shit, too. And you guys have, like you said, maybe not as many, but some big staples that we always argue about Whataburger. That shit came from fucking Corpus.
Yeah, came from Corpus, man.
Selena, man.
We got Farrah Fawcett, too. She was from Corpus.
Farrah Fawcett. Who's she?
Charlie's Angels, bro.
Ah, shit, okay.
Yeah, bro. She was from Corpus.
We got Shawn Michaels. Do you recognize Shawn Michaels as a wrestler? Yeah, San Antonio?
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, you know, smaller town. We definitely can't, like I said, once we get about 3-4 names, and then we start like, oh, you know that guy from, you know,
Javi Luna.
He was on that thing, yeah.
But speaking of, were you crowned the funniest man in Corpus Christi?
A couple times.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, I won the fish. There was an official contest, funniest in Corpus. Yes, I won that in 2012.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Has anybody taken your crown?
Yeah. Well,
has anybody battled you for it?
No.
That's right. So you still hold it.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, they held it every year. So that so in comedy contests is kind of the thing. Like once you win it, like you don't keep doing.
You don't get to defend the title.
You don't keep doing the contest. Like you just, if anything, you host the next year's competition, and then you kind of move on. So do
you have a preference? I mean, obviously, I know you'd prefer, you know, having a set over hosting, but you've also hosted some huge shows as well, man. Like you hosted the Perito show.
Oh yeah.
Like for that's huge, man. Those guys are blowing up, man. Like, how was your experience with them guys?
Well, I've known Jerry.
Oh, okay.
For years. So Jerry and I were on Latin Comedy Jam together.
Oh, shit, dope.
We were part of. So the Latin Comedy Jam, the guy it was produced by Mike Gariaquisto out of Arizona. He's not producing comedy anymore. But I always shout out him. so his kind of that was kind of his brainchild of he wanted to help usher in the new generation of Latino comics.
Right.
So he would do shows with established names. I think Felipe did a few shows. Carlos Mencia, Willie Barcena, Shayla Rivera, Aido Rodriguez, Johnny Sanchez, and then he would also would have younger guys. I was part of that class of the younger guys that kind of to help usher us in. Jerry Garcia was one of them, myself.
Oh shit, nice.
Dustin. I'm sorry, Devin Garcia. He was on Fluffy's. I don't remember. Fluffy had a show on called Stand Up Revolution.
Okay.
On Comedy Central, and kind of on that show, the big news at that time was Fluffy kind of co-signed Devin as like his predecessor,
right?
You know, kind of thing. So it was
protege.
Yeah, and so it was kind of one of those things. So I've known Jerry for a very long time. He was in that writing room too when Chingo was working on his pitch for the Netflix.
Nice.
So I've known Jerry. We've known our each other, talk about each other's kids. You know,
right.
When we met up down there in the valley recently, you know, he's like, "Man, how old's your son now?" I was like, "Oh, he just graduated high school." He's like, "Oh man, I remember."
It's crazy.
And we realized our 12-year-old, we had one kid around the same time, you know, and it's kind of interesting being in the industry so long, because there's a lot of relationships like that where you don't see each other all the time,
right? Or
often. It's kind of, if you're lucky, you see each other once a year, you know, or sometimes even more than that. Same thing with Chingo. You know, when we first started working together, I was divorced. I was going through my single era, you know, and he was just started dating his now wife,
right?
You know, and then I got married. I met a girl, decided to get married again. We eloped. They decided, him and his wife decided to elope as well.
Nice.
You know,
congrats.
We had our daughter. Our daughters are essentially the same age. Our age. He has one more. He kept going. I called it quits.
Would you ever consider moving to like a bigger market like San Antonio or Houston? Like, if you moved here, would that give you more opportunity, you think? Or okay.
Sure. That I mean, it's never like, no, I don't want to move.
Right.
If I'm still in Corpus for a reason, and this reason is I got a kid there. You know, I have my oldest, but I still have a 12-year-old who lives with his mother the majority of the time. You know, get him on the weekends, that kind of deal. But that being said, I still like being an active father. If he has a band concert, I want
absolutely.
I want to go to it. If he needs a doctor's appointment,
you can take him.
You know, I want to be able to take him.
Right.
You know, whatever it is.
I got three motherfucking kids. You preaching to the choir, baby? Yeah.
So it's just not that it's never been considered, or definitely would be in a bigger market, being able to do more shows. You know, not having to drive in. You know, even just to do the show that I'm doing tonight. You know, that's a 2.5 hour drive. I had, you know, my daughter's doing her Girl Scout cookie sales today.
Right.
There's stuff that you're missing. So you're not able to be as generous with your.
But you are a full-time comic now?
I've been a full-time comic.
But you were a teacher for a while and you were trying to balance that out?
Opposite way. So I'm teaching now.
Oh.
I just got into teaching recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I do. Working out a joke about it. A lot of comics, you know. I was a full-time comic for 10 years.
Okay.
So when I started rolling with Chingo, and I was already doing Land Comedy Jam, so a lot of comics, you know, don't advertise, but you travel is the biggest barrier to being a professional comic.
Right.
It's expensive to get around the country, and to make the money that you're making when you're not a star. Right?
Like you have to ask the comedy clubs. Do you ask the comedy clubs for like travel and lodging and all that good stuff?
The headliner gets travel and lodging, but as a feature comic or even as an opening comic, you aren't getting travel unless the headliner
negotiates for you guys.
Negotiates that for you, is willing to pay that for you. So one of the things that we were able to do is I was able to get when I started working with Chingo, the arrangement that I was able to get very, very cheap flights for little to no money. And that really opened the door for me to say, hey, I'm not, even though I'm a Corpus comic and I don't live in a big market, it opened up the whole country.
Because you can travel.
Because now it's not a big deal for me to go to Washington, D.C. for 1 or 2 shows. It's not a big deal for me to go to Chicago or Denver on a features, what a feature's getting paid.
Right.
You know, and then plus at the fact that Chingo wasn't doing 1 or 2 shows in very many markets. A lot of markets we were doing 5 to 7 shows.
Wow, yeah.
You know, and you're getting paid per each show.
Right.
And he's a very generous guy where when I first started out, there was this thing where like, oh, openers don't bring merch. Headliners sell merch. You have to ask permission if you want to sell merch.
What?
When I first worked the road with Chingo, El Paso, Texas, I showed up with 12 shirts. I sold out before the second show even started. I'm sitting back in the green room, if you could call it that at the time. It was a broom closet at the old El Paso comic strip. They have a nice setup now, but back in the day, I'm sitting back there it was like one couch and like one chair. I'm sitting there, and so Chingo comes back to the green room. He's like, "Hey, why aren't you out at the merch table?" And I go, "Oh, I sold out." And he's like, "What? You sold out? That's amazing! Like, you know, the second show of the weekend, we still got 3 more shows." He goes, "How many shirts did you bring?"
12.
He goes, "Yeah, I got about 12." He goes, "Why'd you bring 12 shirts?" Like, because that's what I had left over from the 20 that I had printed. Because that was what I was doing. I was, you know, the minimum order is 10. Oh, let me get 15.
Right, yeah. I do the same thing currently.
Because it's gonna take me months to sell that out.
Correct.
He goes, "Nah, you gotta bring more than that, man." So, you know what I'm saying? So now, yeah, that's with him. I was able to quit my job. I used to work for the state of Texas. I was an investigator for the state of Texas for 8 years. And I tried to take off to go to Washington, D.C. My boss told me, he goes, "Hey, man, I've been giving you a lot of time off for your comedy and whatever, and I'm glad it's going well for you. But you know, like it's starting to get too much. You're taking too much time off.
Getting too excessive.
He goes, "You're going to have to make a choice." He goes, "And I'm pretty sure comedy's not paying your bills." I was like, at that point, I was like, you know what? Honestly, it's not. But I'm also not doing as much as I'm still saying no
to a few gigs.
To a lot of things.
Right.
And I'm definitely not putting my all into it because I'm here from 9 a.m. to 6 o'clock.
So you had to take a leap of faith,
Monday through Friday and every weekend. So it was a big leap of faith for me. And I was a full-time comic for 10 years, and I still am a full-time comic. But this past I would do other things. I'd drive Uber.
I saw that.
I was a substitute teacher. Stuff to
stay busy.
To supplement. Well, also I got kids. I got child.
Yeah.
I got child support.
Me too.
You know, I always say, you know, they're like, "Oh man, can you support yourself doing comedy?" Yeah, I can support myself.
Right.
Beautifully.
Family. Yeah.
Doing comedy because I don't need shit. As a man, you need yourself a 1-bedroom efficiency studio apartment.
I'm with you.
Know what I'm saying? Get you a hot plate.
Air mattress.
And air mattress, I'm good.
Right.
Could I raise a family nicely on it? No.
Yeah.
Like you need a little extra
income.
So I never stopped doing side jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because with comedy, sometimes there's slow seasons, you know, and if you're not working, you know, when Chingo's tour, we would go January to May, and then usually we take June and July off. He would take June and July off, which meant you take July off. Fill the calendar as best you could, you know, or find a job. We'll start back up in August. We'll go August and November, and we take December off for the holidays, which is fine because you do private parties. When you're not a name comic, and if you want to do this full time, you got to know how to manage your money, and 2, you got to understand. And because there's going to be slow seasons, there's going to be months where I had 20 shows.
Kind of like a teacher, right?
Great, but there's only 5. I only got 6 shows next month.
Right.
You know, and they're not in heavy merch markets. You know, you learn too in traveling. Like, hey man, like I only got 2 shows in Nashville, but I know I'll sell more shows. I'll sell more shirts
in San Antonio.
You know, well, no, San Antonio is a great merch town too. San Antonio is one of my bread and butter markets. They show love, but you know, wherever Portland, Oregon, you know, great audience, love the audience.
Right, think you're funny, but they don't want your merch.
Funny, but yeah, they don't buy as much merch.
Right.
For me,
right?
You know, in my experience, you know, and you kind of get to learn that, but you got to know, hey, great, just because you made X amount of dollars this month, you got to be looking. Okay, but next month's kind of light. Let me
take some of this, put it over there.
Put it over there because if not, you know, you don't want to be late on your bills, or you don't want to be having to call baby mama up and say, hey, you know, the shows weren't
right.
Cause,
yeah.
Cause and you know, unless you're just comfortable being a deadbeat, which I'm not.
Right.
You know, so you know, as I've gotten older, 42 years old now. The bad thing about it, I went without health insurance for 10 years. I hadn't seen a doctor. So now I'm working full time as a teacher. It's not in a non-traditional school. There you go.
Look at that.
That's not the school that I work at. That was me on pajama day. Christmas. I got the tamale bag right there.
Is that the school that you went to as a kid, though?
That is the school that I went to as a kid. That's Chula Vista Elementary. It was a fine arts academy when I went there, and so yeah. So now I teach special education, and it's nice. You know, there's still some flexibility there. I'm able to, you know, you have the summers off. You have all that. If I need to take a Friday off, you know, to go travel, it's not such a big deal because I work with like I said, I'm not at a big school.
Mm-hmm.
I work with 4 other teachers.
They kind of pick up your slack if need be.
Exactly.
Nice.
If I really need to be out, you know, they'll take. I only have like 8 students max at any given time. So they'll kind of help.
I feel like you'd be like the School of Rock teacher, just
help me.
just coming up with your own curriculum.
Well, I'm blessed too because in the nature of where I'm at teaching, without giving away, you know, too many particulars for confidentiality reasons. You know,
I'm with you.
My kids are there for short term, and their schoolwork is all on the computer.
Nice.
So I'm really there to facilitate their learning,
right? Which
is to say, hey, you should be working,
right?
Get on, and then of course, if they need help, if I say special education because some students that come to us, they are on modified learning plans,
yes, sir.
So they need additional support. So I'm there to give that additional support.
Give them guidance, yeah.
Yeah, if they need someone to read something out loud to them, or they need someone to help them find an answer.
Do they know you're a comedian?
No, I don't. Okay. That's what I'm kind of. No, I don't advertise that. I really, you know, I keep my.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm the same way.
You know, separate. My coworkers know what I do. I don't need to advertise my comedy outside of comedy. If that makes sense. And it's kind of it works for me. Yeah. No, I don't walk in. And,
I don't either. I don't tell nobody I have a podcast or nothing. Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of feels kind of weird for me.
Yeah. Even when I worked for the state and I was doing comedy and things were taking off, you know, I get people that come to me like, "Hey, I heard you do comedy." Like I never even knew. Why would I? Like, how does that come up? How does that come up in natural conversation for most people? Like, oh, hey, you're at the coffee break. Hey, by the way, I tell jokes on the weekend,
right.
In case you were wondering. You know, I guess if you're promoting a show, but I never depended on that. Just like I never depended on family and friends to fill my shows.
And that's crazy that we talked about this on a recent episode too. It's crazy that you can't depend on them because you'd think that they would always want to be
for about a year.
You're right.
If you're lucky.
Right.
I've seen lots of comics come and you know, they're like, "Oh, dude, I could sell this many tickets." Great. How many times?
Right.
Because at some point they can be like, "Yeah, well, you know, we you know, I get it all the time where they're like, "Oh, my cousin, my whatever, you know, and we've seen him, you know, like 5 times, but it's kind of the same thing now." And it's like, you know, but he's doing good.
How often do you come up with new material?
I turn over for a feature set. I try to turn over every 6 months.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and a lot of that I owe to my working relationship with Chingo, because we hit the same markets every year, right? And as a new comic, you kind of, it's real easy to fall in love with your material,
right?
And if you have a banger, which I did,
you depend on it,
yeah, and you don't want to let it go, or even people start requesting it. They're like, man, we want to hear that's
how it was with Raymond Orta. He says everybody requests his grandpa stuff, and he's like, sometimes I just don't want to do it. Sometimes I have more to show you.
And it's getting comfortable with saying no,
right?
And I have to. It's like, I don't do that one. The divorce material, I don't do that anymore.
Right?
Hey, man, do the joke about the medical assistants. It's like, I mean, sometimes like out there, if I can get to a place where it makes sense.
Yeah, naturally flows.
But that's not what I'm talking about right now, right? Like right now, I'm in this transition. Like right now, and of I'm in my fatherhood mode. I got a son that just graduated. I got a 7-year-old daughter.
Right.
I'm talking about this is where I'm at right
different
now.
Chapter,
different chapter of
life,
of my life.
Right.
And there's people that are truly fans that have gone through all those
those
periods.
Sure.
With me, back in the beginning where it was just one stream of fat jokes, that they can remember, that point. So, and actually you were asking about refreshing material, but it was actually in San Antonio where, yes, people are enjoying it, right? But what got to me, or not got to me, that's not fair, but I heard what he was saying. Like, I was like, hey man, loved your stuff, but it was the same
as last time
you said last year,
right?
And it kind of it stuck with me, and I forced myself, like, hey, like, don't let people get in your ear too much about, oh man, that joke's great, and then what I think happens is you convince yourself, like, I'll never write anything as good as that,
right?
And that, as a writer, you're instantly limiting yourself, and deny yourself. You have to deny yourself your best material. Whatever, after your closer, like, oh, that's my closer. Okay, great. Tell yourself for 3 months you're not allowed to tell that joke. Now what? You have to find another closer.
Right.
Now you have to. But you have to have that willpower. I know it's weird for a fat guy to be talking about willpower, but you have to have that willpower. You have to have that willpower to say, I'm not gonna do my best joke tonight because tonight I'm gonna find an even better joke, and to do that.
You got, like, you have to stay hungry. You have to stay ready.
Yeah. And you have to create, and you have to, find ways to create that. It can, if you're lucky enough, you're working with other comics that challenge you. Right. Me and Chingo, we always talk about iron sharpens iron.
For sure.
He is the greatest example of that, because when he started doing comedy, he could have done what a lot of comics do, is I'm never going to put anybody that might be a little bit funnier than me on my show.
You see it all the time, yeah.
I'm the headliner. He went the opposite, and he went and he found the funniest dudes. Not just talking about myself. Like I said, Jesus Castillo, Jerry Garcia, Blame the Comic, John Stringer, Jesus Sepulveda. The list goes on and on. Yeah, there you go. Right.
Wow, look at that.
Right there. That was us in Oxnard, California.
What's everybody looking at?
Yeah. We were trying to do like an album cover type thing, and he believed in that he wanted to get good,
better,
fast, which is what he needed to do because he already had a name and he can sell tickets. He had to get good fast.
It's like a junior high basketball player playing against elementary. Right. You're gonna be the best, but if you play against some high schoolers, man, you're gonna eventually be as good as those guys.
Right. So if you're lucky enough to have that all the time, where you're always working with guys that are as good or better than you, then you're gonna get better naturally, right? Or you should always play up a level.
Competition,
For me, I think that was one of my benefits being in Corpus, is I had to find other ways to motivate myself because, and this is not me knocking Corpus comedy scene, right? But it was very easy for me to rise to the top because it was such a small market. Not because of anyone's ability. It was such a small market. And then now there's no way for anybody to catch up because the experience. They're you know what I'm saying? 15 years sharing stages with
some of the best, man.
Some of the best. There's no opportunity for anybody to catch up. So I had to find other ways.
Okay,
to motivate myself.
Question, challenging you.
Okay.
Have you thought of doing anything for the Corpus Christi comedy scene? Because I feel like you said, like you're so ahead of the game. A lot of people need someone like you in that position to share that wealth, to share that knowledge, to bring somebody else that not earned it or deserves it, but kind of give some spotlight on Corpus.
Definitely, and I do as much as I can, and I have done. Right, in 15 years, yes, I've made my contributions over and over again.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? When I first started doing comedy in Corpus, there was no comedy open mics. I started doing open mics in between rock bands.
Right.
You know, or we would go to an open mic. They would put us up at the end of the night. Lots of
everybody's
times,
closing their tab.
Bartenders putting chairs on tables into the night, bro.
No.
Several times I told my jokes and the bartenders there. Yeah, that's good.
That's gonna work on a crowd one day.
That type of shit. You know. But I was fortunate, like I said, Cream Rise is the top. The one comedy club that there was, doing 2 shows on every Friday night. They needed a host, so I hosted for a year straight.
Yeah.
I got my chop. That's where I got to know a lot of the San Antonio comics that at that time, you know, that were coming up as well. So San Antonio was always kind of like I said, my second home.
Like Big Brother.
It was my Big Brother scene.
Right.
They took the San Antonio comics at that time were very welcoming. You know, to me, Larry Garza, Raul Sanchez, George Anthony.
Oh, Raul Sanchez is another murderer.
You know, Raul Sanchez and I were coming up right around
really?
the
Okay, he's a
same
murderer.
time. I think maybe he started just like a year, not even a full year before me. You know, Josh Cabaza, all those cats. You know, I knew them. You know, when we were starting out together, they would come down and they would feature for somebody I was hosting.
Nice.
You know, and got to know them like that, and so that's how I got my chops. But even then. The promoter in town at that time, I asked him for an open mic, and he goes, you know, he gave me an honest answer. I still appreciate it. He goes, you know, open mics don't make money,
right?
And with the time that he had, he wasn't willing to invest in that. Steve Trevino was the one that pulled me aside. He caught me at House of Rock, waiting to go up in between bands. I kept getting bumped, and he told me, he goes, "What are you doing here? Like, why are you wasting you got a family at home?" He knew I had a kid at that point. He goes, "You got a wife and kid at home. Why are you've been here
too funny to
you've
just
been here for 4 hours to sit here all night and keep getting bumped." Right? He goes, "Why don't you have a comedy open mic here?" And I told him, I go, "Well, they don't want to have one." He goes, "So you start one."
Right, yeah.
You start one. Go to a bar, tell them to give you the off night, start a comedy open mic. And lie to him. Tell me there's how many comics are in there in Corpus. I go, there's like 5 or 6. He goes, tell him there's 10. He goes, because there will. If you just put the flyer out, there's people that want to do comedy. They will.
Wise words from a wise man.
They will come. He goes, and do it, whatever. If it lasts for 3 months, great. Then go down the street to the next bar and let.
Love Steve Trevino.
And you know, and he was right. You know, and then. What happened? He goes, he told me, he goes, I'm not telling you to start a revolution, but be a catalyst.
Right.
You know, you'll see stuff start to happen. What happened? That same promoter that told me, hey,
now he wants
open
to
mics
do it.
Don't make money. Hey, guess what, guys? We're starting an open mic. So now there's 15 comics, right?
Yep.
And it'll ebb and flow throughout the years. You know, like I said, I told this Corpus comic named Brandon Dolly, I told him one time, I was like, listen, you kind of start to get jaded, right? Because he's like, man, like you don't like it's when people come, like don't you want to teach them whatever? I go, listen, I'll teach the teachable. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody, you know. I go, not everybody's in comedy for the long haul.
Right.
You never know what motivated exactly somebody to get on stage for the first time. Some people are just here for a few months. They're going through a rough patch, whatever. Comedy comes in classes. You know what I'm saying? Just like school. There's always going to be a new class. And I go, if there's 10 comics, they all seem to start right around the same time, right around this time.
One or two will kind of, like you said, rise.
Yeah, winter, whatever. I go, if there's 10 comics, a year from now, there's going to be 5.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that 5, 2 years from now, there might be 3. I go, when you get to your 10-year mark, the guys that I started with in Corpus, none of them do comedy.
Right. It was you. You were the guy, yeah.
It's me. I've seen it, and I've seen it happen in cycles. And when you have only so much energy to give, you start to get a little more selective.
For sure.
So if I see somebody putting in work, I see their time and ability. To say, I don't like to say that I take anybody under my wing, because I always tell them, I go, take my advice, don't take it.
Right.
I don't care. We're all just here for a short time, and I only know what I know. I don't have the rules to comedy, because there aren't any rules. I can tell you what's worked for me. I can tell you what I've seen work for other people, and be very honest. Like a lot of it, a lot of the opportunities I've gotten, I can't explain how it happened, because it's not like I went and chased anything down.
Mm-hmm.
So I was never been that guy to be like, let me have my vision board. And and I'm not knocking what I wish I was that guy.
No,
that's not,
I hear you.
It's being honest about who I am. I'm not I'm going to manifest this, and I'm going to do whatever
I'm
it
the
takes
same way
to make this happen. All I've been given is my talent and my ability. I know I can write jokes. I know I can perform. That's what I can do. And that's what I focus on. Anything else, I do all right on the business end. A lot of things I learned, I picked up from Chingo. I picked up from watching Raymond, from John Stringer. I see how they move. I try to emulate as best as possible, but that's not my natural talent. That's not what I'm built for. That's why I'm still, 15 years later, I'm still Texas' best kept secret, man.
Right. Yeah.
Is kind of our running joke. I've been on the cusp for a long time. People, they'll see me rock a show with Chona or with Chingo or Eddie Griffin. And they're like, "Oh man, you're the next big thing. He's
referring to me, guys.
You're on the cusp."
He's referring to me.
No, it's not just you.
Well, like I said, I saw you at the Ken Flores thing.
Yeah.
I saw you at the Chona thing. I saw you at Chingo. And all I keep thinking is like, damn, this motherfucker is, like I said,
why aren't
funnier.
you bigger?
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like, no, I mean, I'm guilty for sure.
Yeah. So definitely, as far as helping the Corpus scene, I mean, like I tell them, I'm my main priority is my family. Always.
You gave him the blueprint for sure.
Always. Yeah, sure. Just like Lopez. Like, yeah, I gave you the blueprint. Hey, what else do you want? But no, it's about energy, right?
Yeah.
You got to protect your energy. I got my family gets the bulk of it at all time. At all time. I tell them, I go, if it's between, playing Uno with my kids and going to an open mic, at this point, I need that time with my kids more than I need your open mic.
Right.
Because the open mic's not making me better at this point in my juncture.
How do you try like new material?
Well, I'm blessed that I do enough shows, and I've been around long enough. I don't write a joke and not know that it's gonna work. Like when I write a joke, the joke's gonna work. Right. Right. I just now need to put it on stage and sharpen it. Mm-hmm. And I can do that. And I have enough strong material that I can I can take 5 minutes of my 25-minute set and I can experiment with it. And it's not going to hurt my set. Right. Right. The audience won't even know half the time. Right. They don't even know that it's new material. Right. In fact, a lot of the times I start off my set with new material and then they don't even know. Then it just feels like gradually. Like a build to them. Right. So do I need an open mic? No. If anything, I go to an open mic because I just feel like hanging out with some comics. Nice. Right. But like I said, I much rather hang out with my kids. So, but I tell them, I go, I believe in what y'all are doing. The Corpus scene is bigger than it's ever been. It's more active than it's ever been. There's a lot of comics that are producing their own shows. They're doing their own thing. When I started, like I said, there was one promoter, one room. If you wanted to work, that guy had to like you. And there's no knock to that one guy, but it shouldn't be like that. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have. It shouldn't be up to one person. It shouldn't be up to one venue. It shouldn't. If you want to do comedy, there should be space for anybody. It doesn't matter if I think you're funny. It doesn't matter if the promoter thinks you're funny. There should be another room that somebody's willing to give you that opportunity, because you never know. So I've seen comics. I've been wrong. I've seen comics that start, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think they got it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they got it. And then I see them 3 or 4 years later,
and they got it.
And man, hey, you got it. You got it. You're doing really good. I'll say this. I don't know if I've ever told him this, and this is no knock to him. Joshua J. Nieto was one of those guys. Right. And I saw him, I think maybe he'd been doing comedy maybe about 6 months, and I was like, oh, okay. Cool. To see him now all these years later, I'm like, dude, you're freaking 10 times better than I ever thought you would ever grow to be.
And that's not a knock. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
He's put in the work. Yeah.
No, definitely. So I kind of take that. That's kind of my approach to the Corpus comedy scene. I'm here. I support y'all. I cheer y'all on. Does that mean I'm going to be here every week, week in, week out with y'all? And I definitely don't take a point like, hey, gather around, children. Let me tell you all about the things in comedy you need
Teaching
to know.
After hours, yeah.
But every now and then, people ask, I got a gig here, I got a gig there. If they don't have the bill set up already, they're like, hey, do you want to bring somebody? I'll grab somebody. Hey, we're in the car for 3 hours. We'll chat. We'll talk. If you want to ask me some questions, ask me some questions. I'll tell you what I know. I'll tell you some stories. And take what you need and leave the rest is the only.
Where do you think, like when it comes to like places you've performed? I know you said like at restaurants and stuff, but I was thinking you just recently performed in Bastrop, and I'm from Bastrop. From Bastrop, and that comedy club is in a movie theater.
Yeah. But it is a comedy club.
Is it I've never been. My nephew works at that theater. Yeah. So I didn't see if he goes to the comedy shows because he's a teenager, but he works at that theater.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a comedy club.
And I tell him because comics, I'm like, look, if they ever hit you up, do it, because it's a comedy club. So it's at a film alley, and you walk in, and it's right there as soon as you walk in, and it's floor to ceiling glass, but they have it curtained off. So once you walk through those doors, it's dark, it's low ceilings. There's a stage.
Because I've been there. Do they still have a bowling alley to the right?
Bowling alley's to the right. So it's before you get to as soon as you walk through those double doors.
Right.
There
used to be an arcade. No arcade anymore.
No, the arcade's there.
Okay.
It's to the left. It's right across from the arcade. There's some doors. You won't see it because you can't see in there from the lobby. From the lobby, you cannot see what's happening inside. So vice versa, when you're inside,
you can't see
that
all
doesn't
the
exist.
Shit. And it's not like soundproof and shit.
You can't hear soundproof.
Wow.
You cannot hear. You're not hearing bowling pins crashing, and you're not hearing Area 51 across the hall.
Yeah.
It'll make the bombing a lot better though.
And I've done that too. I've performed in front of bowling lanes, like they set up a stage in front of bowling lanes. But the Bastrop one, it's a comedy club. Steven Farmer's been running that. It's got to be like it's 4 years. I just did their 4-year anniversary show.
Oh shit! Nice. Let's go, Bastrop.
They're the only comedy club to have my picture up. They printed a
Bastrop, baby.
Yeah, and I told him, I go, hey, thanks for putting my picture up. He goes, it's gonna be up there because that banner was like really expensive. Nice. So it's never coming down. We're not printing another one. So me, Raul Sanchez is up there. There's a couple of Houston comics up there. I can't remember everyone else who's on it. He goes, you're one of the first ones to put me in the rotation, right?
Right.
In
nice.
comedy clubs. It's getting away from it because now everyone's a draw. Everyone has to have a social media following. Back in the day, if you were a pro level comic, it didn't matter. You just had to have a credit.
Right.
There was dudes that worked for 20 years because they did an episode of CSI.
Had the credit.
It's a credit. It's a credit. I could put NBC on your flyer. Come, and,
well, I still
you got a week at River Center.
I still can't get that down. Beans, help me with this because I had I'm drawing a blank on his name for some.
I mean, give me some more.
The most
information.
Raymond.
me with
Raymond
this. I had
Orta.
somebody
Raymond
on
with the
Orta.
hair.
No, I had Raymond Orta on, and I think. This is where Beans, I need your help. When we were talking about the NBC Last Comic Standing,
I
don't think he ever got on the show.
No.
He said, right? But he got the credit, is what he was
He was
getting
in
at,
line
right?
or something, or I think maybe they should. Yeah,
They just like passed by him and he
Right.
got the credit though. So when I was doing my research, my chat GPT, it said Raymond Orta, NBC's Last Comic Standing, and I was like, oh shit. So when I'd ask him like NBC's Last Comic Standing, that's a big fucking deal.
What was that like?
And he's like, well, but he got the credit.
Dude, when I first started comedy, there were so many because they came to San Antonio to do the cattle call. They came. I think LOL had just opened. I hadn't started yet, so I only heard the stories.
And I've never heard of the cattle call.
And so they came and they did the cattle call, which means Last Comic Standing. We're auditioning. So all the comics from all around Texas came and lined up outside LOL. And yeah, they came with the camera and they did the whole shot. Look at all these people that came out here to line up, and you know, a couple of them got shots of them auditioning for the producers.
Right.
You didn't get to hear. Maybe you got to hear like 5 seconds of whatever they were saying. Right. Because from my understanding, it was a
1 minute.
1 minute audition. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did the NBC Stand Up for Diversity when they went to Houston.
Okay.
I went there. I did a call back. I think they ended up. I want to say. I mean, you can quote me on it. It's a fucking podcast. I don't know. I'm not sure. So you can fact check it and tell me. I want to say I think Hans Kim ended up being one of the guys that they took, and I want to say Zahid Devji who ended up being. But myself, Mario, it was this program that NBC ran, trying to get some more brown people,
nice,
to start writing comedy. You know, and they did it for a handful of years.
So again, let's bring it back here because I think it's weird to think about this because you've been in it for so long. But like you said, someone from me that just saw you recently, those 3 shows. Oh man, he's next to blow.
Yeah,
it's weird
on
because
the cusp is the joke.
You said you were 42, right? On the cusp.
Yeah.
In a weird sense, even though it doesn't feel like you're new. You have this brand new audience.
Sure. Always.
Right. So to an extent, you are on the cusp.
Right.
And you have to know that, even though it doesn't feel like it because you've been doing it for so long. 2026, 2027, 2028, when it comes to comedy, you're like in your absolute prime, right? Like you're not a rapper jumping in the rap game at 42 because that would be a little odd, right? But as a comic, being on the cusp, is there anybody that you want to work with, any venues, any like you said, I don't want to say like manifested, but any goals you're like, man, that'd be fucking neat, man. Anything that you can see kind of in your scope that's kind of realistic that you'd love to do in the short future?
You know, I don't have like a bucket list of performers or anything like that. Like of course, you know, I'd be happy to work with Gabriel at some point. Our paths have never crossed for whatever reason, you know. But it's not like I don't hang my head on anything like, oh, that's what I need, you know, or anything like that. You know, everything's happened. Even, you know, working with Eddie Griffin, he just happened to be coming through Corpus. I had the weekend off. I didn't have anything booked that weekend. The club called up, say, hey, do you want to host? Sure, I'll host.
You met Eddie Griffin?
I met Eddie Griffin, watched my set the whole weekend.
Oh,
I didn't meet him until the very last show. The owner, because I'm not that guy.
Right, yeah.
I'm not that guy to like, oh,
Look at me,
I got to just put me in the room. I'll make it happen.
Right.
I'm not that guy. You know, and he's like, hey, you don't want to go get a picture with him? Because Eddie would just stay up in the green room. It's in that club. It was upstairs. They had a TV there where you could watch the show. He goes, he's been seeing you all weekend. He thinks you're great. And I was like, all right, yeah, I do want to go meet him. I want to go take a picture. You know, walk in. You know, he's sitting on the couch. Eddie stands up and you know, daps me up. And he's like, hey man, he goes, I just want to tell you, you're the truth. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, hey, Richard Pryor told me I'm the truth. I'm telling you, you're the truth. Do with that whatever that you want. he invited me out to Vegas. I got to open for him in Vegas.
Just based on that one performance? Or the weekend?
Based off of that one weekend.
Whoa!
One weekend. I shit the bed the first night. I did better the second night. I killed it the third night.
I mean,
I never worked with him again, but it's enough for. But I did it, right? He flew me out to Vegas. I got to stay for 3 nights in Vegas.
That's a credit.
And over, yeah, sure, it's a credit, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's never been anything that I've, sought out. Getting to do. Paul Rodriguez was on Land Comedy Jam. I got to work with him, in New Mexico and El Paso and of course Corpus, and getting to have a relationship. I took him to eat tamales at my uncle's restaurant.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So everything like that's been so, but definitely, like I said, I think if you're a Latino comic, it's undeniable. Gabriel,
for sure.
He's the top, man. He's the one that's done
the biggest,
the most.
I think that when people see you and they say, "Man, you should be bigger than you are," right? And then they might hear you have a 15-year comedy career,
right?
And they might think you should be bigger than you are, right? But I think what a lot of people that are newer to comedy or don't follow it very often don't understand is that 15 years is when you're getting to your peak.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's when you're comfortable with what you're doing on
when
stage.
I first started comedy, that's what they would tell you.
Right.
They were like, "Don't start unless you're willing to invest 15 years." Because on the average, that used to be the average. That used to be the norm. 15 years was when you got the sitcom,
right? Yeah,
when you got the when you got the nod, when you got the late show, and now I think like anything. I'm not one of these like old guys that's like,
one old head.
They're ruining comedy and the TikTokers.
No, I think it could blow up in less than 15 years.
But it's changing. Yeah, definitely now you see guys, I've in the last handful of years, I've opened up for comics selling out the club and they've been doing it for 2 years. And me as a professional comic that's done it, I can see it. Like, you don't have that experience. Barely have, you piece together a 45-minute set, but it's not smooth. It's not smooth. It's not solid. But the audience can't see it. They're just happy because they came to see the person on TikTok, Yeah. And hey, I need to work. I'm taking the gig.
I drove 3 hours from San Antonio to Houston to go see Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
Do what?
I swear.
And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, how'd you feel on the ride home?
To be fair, I was just excited to see Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, and that's another,
right.
and that's the thing. And how can you be mad at that? Is it their fault?
Yeah, his headliner was probably better, right? Yeah. But I was happy to see Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, exactly. On the flip side, does it mean that everybody that blows up on TikTok or transitions to comedy from reels is now funny? No. Just because they didn't start off in stand-up doesn't mean they're not good. Chingo came from rap, right? He took a longer. He put in work, but some people are just naturally funny.
I feel like that with Chingo though. Like has he been 10 years at least?
Mm-hmm.
He is on the cusp. I feel like in an extent, like he's huge. He's headlining, right? I get all that, but like you can be even on a bigger scale, like you said, the fluffy scale, right? Like there's levels to the comedy world, and you guys are killing it. Like I said, I saw the crowds in San Antonio. You got just as much of a pop as Chingo did, and Chingo gets just a huge pop as well. And when I see these things, I'm like, man, like you've done it, man. Like, and again, I understand there's bigger scales, obviously, but like you guys have to go home afterwards and just be like, we did it, right? Like it's crazy to see that because
no, there's definitely. I mean, I prefer to stay in a space of gratitude at all time, because you can get caught up in by making it through the world's lens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has he made it? Well, if when you go home at night you feel like you made it and you're happy with what you did, you're good with the check that you got, you're good with the laughs that you got, then you made it.
But I hope you made it.
Yeah,
like you kill it, man. Everybody talks about Javi Luna.
Well, thank you, and definitely, the love and the respect that I get from people that I love and respect, is probably my biggest motivation. The small fan base that I do have, the people that have stuck with me through the years, through the changes, the divorces, the marriage, the having kids,
The evolution,
the quitting
yeah.
the job, the I used to rock a fade. You know,
I haven't seen that.
You were talking. Was watching a little bit of your Raymond Ortho episode, and you talking about evolution.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I didn't. You know, I
You hit the fade,
hair
huh?
out. Yeah, I used to be baby.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to go
Babyface.
3 for 3 with that though, because I was going to.
Yeah. But it
because
happens.
Martin Moreno,
Uh-huh.
he's in his like. I feel like I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't want to,
Yeah.
but like Raymond Ortho, the same thing. He went with the fro. Like I think the mullet's working.
Yeah.
When you and the it's the bandana.
the
You got to
bandana?
keep rocking the bandana,
Yeah,
man.
People like the bandana.
Yeah.
And I like it too. But I never. I'm the type. Like I don't. It's not a stick. Like I started wearing the bandana because I wear the bandana.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like. If
I
you're
like
oh,
it.
you're wearing the bandana tonight? Like, yeah, if I'm wearing the
Whoa! Whoa!
yeah,
No! That's you.
that was me.
That does not look like you.
That was me, man.
Even like I'm trying to put hair on you, it still doesn't look like you.
Completely different.
How
guy.
long ago is that?
That's got to be about 8 years ago, I would think.
Whoa! that's-
No, probably about 10. I think that it looked like during my divorce.
539 weeks ago. So do the math.
Oh, wow. 530.
Got me
10,
beat.
10 years ago. 52,
Yeah.
52 weeks a year.
Yeah, there you go.
So a little over 10 years.
Wow,
Yeah,
man. The evolution of comedy,
yeah,
man.
no, definitely evolution, right? Like growing out the hair, but it's never been for me, at least. And I would like to think for most people, it's not performative. It's just,
Right.
you know, if you look at a normal guy, like you get into your dad mode. Like this is probably, I felt like at 40, I was like, I'm probably just gonna stay like this, right?
I'm
like
wearing Asics now, by the way. That's
yeah.
my dad's shoe.
Dude, I was talking to my son last night. I was like, hey man, do I get these New Balances?
Yeah, those are my shit.
Or do I get these Air
Air
Monarchs?
Force Ones.
or the Monarchs. He goes, like, to wear? I go, no, like I actually want to use them. Like
Right.
as,
Put some,
like I want
not
to use
just
them.
fashion,
Like,
right?
I want to go walk. I mean, I want to be able to wear them out too.
Right.
Like I don't, he goes, I don't know, I'll probably go with the Monarchs. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go with the New Balances.
Right. That tells you
'Cause
everything
what the
you
fuck
need to
do
know.
you know? You're
Right.
18
It tells
years
you
old.
everything you need to know.
Thank you.
That's hilarious, man.
Because I think if you see yourself as an artist at all, you're always going to question yourself. You don't want to feel like you're just doing anything performatively,
Right.
right? The hair, yes, I like having long hair. I like the way I feel with long hair. The way that was me. I was testing the waters there. That was a wig.
Oh my
That was shooting a skit with Chingo. He used to have a show called CBTV, and we did. I wrote a skit called Pawn Stars, PAN.
Oh my
based off of
God.
Pawn Stars.
That's
It was
fucking
a pawn shop, but they only paid you in sweetbread.
Oh my God.
And so that I played the Chumley character, and so I needed long hair, and so that's what that was. The bandana, same thing. People say ask about the glasses when I started wearing the tinted glasses.
Fire.
I went through a stage where I don't know what was going on with my eyes because I didn't have healthcare at the time, but it started happening very often where my eyes would start to water on stage with the lights, like a lot. And I would I'll be up there trying to go through my set, and like I was wiping my eyes and whatever, and I was like, I don't want to wear sunglasses on stage because then people can't see, comedy, you got to see the facial features. That's why we have to have the lights.
Right, yeah.
You have to see what my face is doing. You have to, if my eyes
Tells
go
the story,
big or
right.
whatever, it helps tell the story. So I went to go get new glasses, and they're like, "Oh, do you want sunglasses?" I go, "No, I don't want sunglasses." And I was like, "Let me ask you a question." I go, "What's the least, like, how
Tint.
light can I
Yeah.
get the tint?" And the girl started showing me, and she goes, "Well, you can get 20% or 30% or whatever." And she goes, "Yellow would be pretty clear." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Like, let me get a pair of those." I knew I wanted some aviators.
They don't look douchey. You know how some guys wear the sunglasses?
Yeah,
you don't look douchey.
Yeah, they're not Gucci or whatever or anything like that. Like I don't care about name brands or whatever. Like they serve a purpose for me. And then I have anxiety. I disassociate a lot. And it's the color seems to help, like, me not get overstimulated.
Well, like on Big Daddy. Remember when Big Daddy he puts on the glasses and he
Yeah.
feels better at school?
Yeah. No, it really is. Like even now, like normally, like like seeing everything with the yellow, because like even this would overstimulate me. Like,
Oh,
this,
really?
like, whole like hip hop TGI Fridays thing you got going on.
Dope, right?
Like, you know what? Because I would be like, let me look at all the things, you know, and I wouldn't be able to focus on the conversation. But the fact that like everything has this like yellow tint to it, kind of
Mellows it.
mellows everything.
Nice,
out.
nice. Yeah, man. Before we get you out of here, just a few more things. Have you ever been starstruck? Because I saw that you saw Mario Lopez a few months ago.
I didn't. It got canceled.
It got
canceled.
No,
It got canceled.
no way. I saw the flyer and I was like, oh shit, he saw Mario Lopez.
No. I was supposed to go do that show and
Damn.
and it got canceled. Who start? Well, yeah.
Especially like with the anxiety and everything,
so
right?
Chingo, like, because sometimes we'll roll into a town and someone's performing like the next night or whatever, so we'll cross paths. And sometimes Chingo doesn't even know who it is, like, because I like comics,
Right.
Maybe they're not the biggest household names, so like we got to cross paths with Brian Posehn.
Don't know.
Yeah, you know, just shoot me. He's always like a side character on something, super hilarious dude, you know. And I was like, dude, Brian Posehn's here. Like, we're wrapping up our show. He's doing doing a late show. And Brian's, and I'm asking Chingo, I'm like, hey, can you take a picture of me with Brian Posehn? And you know, and same thing, TJ Miller. He didn't recognize TJ.
He's
Miller.
like an actor as well, right?
Yeah, he's an actor as well.
I know who that is.
Super funny, kind of offbeat, you know, not known for his stand-up necessarily.
TJ Miller, real quick. She's out of my league.
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly who TJ Miller is. Cool.
Yeah, we ran into TJ Miller in Nashville. He was shooting his special. We did the Wednesday night. He was shooting his special that weekend, so he was there doing tech rehearsal and all that.
Nice, man.
And I was like, oh, dude, take a picture of me with this tall ass white dude, you know, and so I get starstruck by you know, Comic-Con.
Your unusual suspects.
Like that. Definitely Eddie Griffin was the one.
Oh, for sure.
I was scared to meet him. I mean, because, you know, he's one of the greatest in my opinion.
And you have a show right here in San Antonio tonight.
Tonight, the Gen X comedy show.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of shows with a bunch of comics anymore. And Ryan Shields, I did the Kill Tony thing over the Thanksgiving break because I had some time off. I was supposed to go. No, when I was supposed to go to LA, it got canceled. And I was like, well, I don't want to do nothing. So I drove up to Austin. I go, let me go throw my hat name in the bucket there. And I ran to Ryan Shields and he goes, hey, I wanted to do like a Gen X, like old people of comedy, like not. I go, well, I'm not really Gen X. I'm actually an older millennial, but you know, whatever. I get the idea, sure. And you know, I want to work with people that I respect. I love Al Gonzalez. I've never worked with Tammy Bernal, but I caught her set a while back, and I think she's very funny.
Yeah, both funny. Yeah.
So, and I like that Woodlawn Theater.
That's where the Ken Flores went.
It's next door.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's next door where Chona's show was.
Right.
It was my first time working there. I don't know if we're gonna.
That was a nice venue.
Yeah, it's a great venue. Great venue, and I love that San Antonio has they have a great, you know, diversity of venues now, and it doesn't seem like anybody's. Sometimes when comedy scenes grow, there's infighting, like oh, if you work over there, you can't work over here, and it's always been silly to me. And I try to stay out of it as much as possible. I got sucked into it one time in Corpus, you know, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, everyone should go where they want to go. This is where I am at.
Have you been to the Riot yet here in San Antonio?
I have. I've been in touch with Gonzo, and he's invited me out. Perfect. It's just a matter of getting the time when I'm here,
right?
And of course, you know, every comic in San Antonio's, I'm sure, trying to get in there too. I think it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna blow up.
It already is. You know, but definitely it's gonna be one of those spaces that's like no, if you're anybody.
You're going to
in San Antonio. That's the room where you should be working out of.
Nice,
right? And there's always going to be that, and it's not a knock to anybody else's room, but that's just there's always
very well put together.
There's always going to be an A room where there's always going to be the comic room, right? You know, and that's definitely. I think I saw Fluffy even stopped in there this week. It's going to be one of those spaces where. yeah, if you're coming through San Antonio, you maybe you're doing the LOL, or maybe you're even doing.
But you're gonna pop up over there.
You're gonna pop up in the
for
riot.
sure.
So and he, Gonzo, I think he at the Chingo show was the first time he saw me, and he was like, we definitely want you out here, And so I like San Antonio. I think it's a better opportunity for me to be with comics that'll make me work
Sharpen your
a little
iron.
harder,
Yeah.
right, and also it's a good place for me to get some clips because I'm not done taking my swings, at it. Chingo said it best. He goes, the show's there,
Right.
You're just a viral moment away from
We talked about that
being,
as podcasters, right?
yeah. So I'm not done taking my cracks at it. Sometimes I get distracted, family stuff, work stuff, whatever. I don't pump out content probably the way I should, but
Right.
I'll go through my moments where like, this month I'm posting 3 clips every day for a month, and I'll go up a couple thousand followers, and that's great for me.
Nice.
And if one of those really hits one day, even better. But until then, my reputation helps me. People keep throwing me work, and I'm always happy to bring my consistency and my abilities every single time, whatever stage is willing to have me.
Absolutely. Where can people find you on social media?
They can find me at Javi Luna Comedy on everything, TikTok, Instagram, all that. I do have the old special from a few years ago on YouTube, Universal Comedy on YouTube. But I'm sure if you search up Javi Luna, it'll come up as well.
All right. Bean, switch the camera to me. I got something to say. God damn it.
That'll speak to the people.
Listen, if Javi Luna doesn't want to do it, I'm going to do it for him. Fluffy, listen out, man. If you want one of the biggest, best, hottest comics in Texas, he's sitting right next to me. Javi Luna out of the 361. He's the funniest man in Corpus Christi. He's one of the funniest men in Texas and in the United States. Gotta work with Fluffy. Javi Luna. We got to make that happen. San Antonio, Texas. On Wax the podcast. Javi Luna, the funniest man in Corpus Christi.
Thank you for manifesting.
Let's
that for
go.
Me.
On Wax. We have this, man. Let's go.
Hey yo, it's your boy Jay Hen, and I got some very exciting news for you guys. If you guys like to have fun and you like to gamble, maybe you can't always afford to go to Vegas, don't worry about it. I got you covered. If you're in the San Antonio area, you must visit Rustlers Club, located off 410 and Ingram Road. Follow them on Instagram for more information at Rustlers Club SA, and let them know On Wax sent ya.